Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he is the most scrutinized leader in the country's history. The Prime Minister was addressing a massed gathering of GLP supporters at the Southeast St. Catherine Constituency Conference in Portmore on Sunday.
PNPism. And so I decided to put myself to the people. And I have never backed away from the scrutiny of the people. I am the most scrutinized leader of this country ever. And I am not done yet. I have many more ideas to come. I don't come to you with dreams. I come to you with a vision. Other people come to you with dreams. That means they are sleeping, their eyes are closed. I come to you with vision. My eyes are open, and you can see the vision materializing before your very eyes. So I want my nervous laborites to appreciate that you are part of an intelligent party, and we do our empirical checks. We go and we do our studies, and we don't use that to try and influence perception. I don't generally speak on this, but I found it very interesting that someone from the belly of that other organization, well, maybe not from the belly, but associated with them, was able to speak on how that organization used polls to shape public opinion so that the weak-minded, the person who genuinely don't know, and those who are inclined to believe that nonsense, believe it. Because of how they use polls. Don't mind you, it's not me say so. Go on YouTube and see the explanation as to how they use polls to manipulate people's views and perspective to get their own way. We do not do that.
A wide-ranging presentation, the Prime Minister, Mr. Holness, called on his supporters to commit themselves to protecting freedom of the press. The Prime Minister says the JLP must at all times defend this important element of Jamaica's democracy.
In a free press, if somebody says something that you don't like, develop the capacity to say what you like and what you want to hear and get it popularized and fed to the people. That is where it is at. In the landscape of a free press, and in particular in the age of social media, some of us may feel uncomfortable when the dominant media houses portray our position in ways that we don't like. But let me be clear with you that we have seen the media landscape in Jamaica change dramatically and radically. And what the Jamaica Labour Party must do as we enter into the battle for your minds is ensure that we put the information out there in the traditional media, but in all forms of media, to ensure that the people of Jamaica have the balanced and accurate view of what is happening in their country. And we must not be slouchy about it. And we have been working internally to ensure that the good work that we do is not kept under a bushel. Many months ago, I gave an instruction to the communication team of the party that we must not engage in anti-social media. And if you look at the Jamaica Labour Party social media, and our traditional media output, there is nothing antisocial about it. We don't go and spread lies on people. We don't assassinate people's reputation. You know why I take that position? Because the people who are prone to follow lies and rumors and falsehoods are weak-minded people, lazy-minded people who won't go and read the truth and research. And because we respect our people, and we know that there are some of them who will be misled, we don't want to mislead you. So our media policy is always to be upfront, accurate, and truthful with our information. Now that places us at a disadvantage because nastiness sells, but truth don't sell like nastiness. You know, I could go on and give you examples of the nastiness that PNP associated people do and put up every day, and how weak-minded people who don't read believe. But I'm not going to contribute to that.
Not at all.
Because as a man of faith,
That's right.
I know that two wrongs don't make a right.
That's right.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness and GLP leader. He was addressing a massed gathering of GLP supporters at the Southeast St. Catherine Constituency Conference in Portmore on Sunday. We're carrying for you excerpts from that Southeast St. Catherine Constituency Conference held yesterday in Portmore, where the Prime Minister was the keynote speaker. Sandre, just before we go on to what we have next for our listeners, here's what is bothering me about all that is being said by our leaders on the matter of press freedom. I don't get that everybody is, singing from the same hymn sheet on the matter. Let's put it that way. On both sides. So, for example, yesterday, the Prime Minister spoke at this conference and, of course, said that his party was committed to, and he himself, were committed to protecting freedom of the press. But then earlier at the same conference, you had another member of the party who, doubled down on hitting out at the press and calling names of particular media houses. The same for the opposition PNP as well, where months have gone on, where you've seen reports and heard clips of particular members of the PNP hitting out at the press, saying certain media entities are GLP aligned. For example, Nationwide here as well was called or described as an incubator for GLP workers or something like that. Then you had, after that, I believe it was last week, another member of the opposition, PNP, coming out to indicate that, the opposition supports the media, doesn't want anything bad to happen to practitioners in the industry and all of that. And I'm saying I just don't get where everybody is aligning on this matter and where their position lies, because you have one person saying this and then the other person coming not long after to say another thing.
It comes back to this idea of how we play politics in this country, because it is a game. And when we analyze and we look at it from a bird's eye view, you realize that these statements that are normally made about the media and them being aligned to a particular political party, you realize that the leaders of the parties are normally absent when those statements are made. And then, the leader swoops in to tell you about press freedom, etc. Hypocritical. If it is the case wherein they do believe, and they do believe it, based on what's being said by particular persons in both political organizations that the media is skewing things in a particular way. And to be honest, when you read some of the stories, you really wonder because a lot of times, because I read stories and a lot of times I'm fooled by headlines. And that is a fact. You see a headline and you go in and you're saying, oh, this is what's happening. But when you read the story, you realize that the media, especially in and it's not limited to Jamaica, it goes across the world. You realize that the headlines are so sensationalized. So it's skewed towards, okay, this is what it looks like it's saying, but when you read it, you're like, oh, but this is what it's saying. And that makes that idea of the media influencing minds a very powerful idea. But the fact that the Prime Minister, right, who was not going there in his position as Prime Minister, but as leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, you have to realize the difference. He went in to say, listen, we're for press freedom. You know, if you had a member of parliament, a senior Jamaica Labour Party member in Everald Warmington, going on the stage to say, listen, we're going to defend the Prime Minister or the leader of the party. He didn't just leave it at Prime Minister. He went on to say leader of the party. I wish we had those clips here. And if that was his statement, and then for the Prime Minister to come on and speak about press freedom, it is contradictory, because you now question, and same thing in the past, we've heard members of the PMP, members who are seasoned People's National Party members, come out, hit out at particular media entities, not just nationwide, other media entities as well. And then, you know, the leadership of the PMP comes out and says, no, we're for the media. This goes all the way back to local government. Local government was in February. I remember when Dayton came on this program, Nationwide's program, with Cliff, and Cliff was saying, are you going to start running ads with us again? I remember that statement clearly, and I was like, what? I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that that's where our politics has gotten, and it's bad. But then the question still remains, where are we with press freedom? Do they really think the media houses are aligned? Or are we in that state where we've seen improved press freedom numbers? Are we still in that improved press freedom state? Or because of politics, we are now ensuring that we have conversations about whether or not media houses are aligned?
Yeah. And I also want to say, because I've heard it time and time again as well, Sandre, that, the media or practitioners believe that they are above criticism and all of that. Absolutely not. And any practitioner that holds that view, you know, I want to part ways with them, because we are not above criticism. But I believe if you're going to come to the fore, right, and say particular things about media houses, to say whether your argument is that they're aligned or whatnot, you have to come with things that indicates why you believe that is the case. But you can't just be hammering home at a media entity, one side indicating there is freedom of the press, somebody else in the same side indicating that no, there are certain things that the media is doing. Where is everybody singing from the hymn sheet? Do you really believe in press freedom and all of that? And if it is that you're going to come and hit out against the press in a particular way, come and show people why it is that you're indicating, what you're indicating, you know, and allow people to make up their minds that particular way.
Yeah, and I'm seeing in the chat where a number of persons are saying to me that the leader of the opposition himself hit out at Nationwide. I don't have the exact clips of that. So
yeah, I believe that was at the party's most recent conference,
so
where he said certain media entities are GLP aligned.
If that's the case, if that's where we're going, and then we saw what happened, the gruesome, I would say, video recently that had pictures of individuals from a particular media entity, as it were, and we see where it's going, and if that's where it's going, I say, boy, I don't know if I necessarily look forward to this political season, because it's you know, I heard George do a What's on My Mind, I think a week or two ago, and he spoke to the fact that it's the same playbook, it's the same political strategy that they've been using from time immemorial, and that's where it's gone, because now it's 2 terms in, and the Jamaica Labour Party is looking to get its 3rd term. The People's National Party is geared up and ready to get back in after 2 terms, because we know, based on the politics, that 2 terms, normally Jamaican people say, yeah, enough is enough. And, you know, when we look at that, we realize that it's going to be a fight between both parties to literally get 32 seats to go into parliament. And that comes with this new, not new, but new now, because over the last couple of years, we've not really seen much of that as it relates to attack on the media from political platforms. But based on how hungry, you know, the opposition would be for power, and how hungry the ruling or governing Jamaica Labour Party would want to stay in power, if they're hungry enough to fight to stay, then you'd see where this will only get escalated in the coming months.
At the conference as well, the Prime Minister also said that the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, FCJ, will be spearheading a technology park project in Portmore, St. Catherine. He says after the massive investments in the technological park and road infrastructure, Portmore will become a little Miami.
And it's going to move very rapidly. And the Factories Corporation has planned a massive tech park for Nago's Head. So when you put the whole thing together, new roads to manage the traffic, 15,000 new houses for people to live, only for young people who just graduate, go and get them the house there. Plus the tech park, a massive tech park with the people that we train to do the IT. Yes, Portmore going to become Little Miami when we're done. So we're not just talking. These are things that are happening as we go. They are moving along. But the one that I love the most, because it just shows the difference between them and we. Them have a bad tune, you know. It said they are not like us. It's a nice little hip hop song. But anyway, hold on. Because the truth is, they are not like us. They promised that they would build a park in Portmore. They went there and they broke ground and they plant tree, and all of the tree them dead. And it's a dust bowl that has been a nuisance to the people. And your member of parliament called me almost every day about it. But we had it going through the process. And your park is now being built. It's not just a park, but it is going to be the best park in the Caribbean. And it will have facilities there to serve the community. They are not like us. So, I tell you, you have to be here to feel the energy in this room. You have to be here. Portmore is special to me. And we are going to do right by Portmore. We will make Portmore a parish, and we will fulfill all the commitments of roads, of the waterworks, not just for potable water, but for your sewage. Because we're going to work very hard to ensure that the Spark program starts before the year is out. I don't know if you heard, but we started out at 40 billion for the Spark program. But I came here a few months ago, and the residents said to me, there are plants that are not working, means that are broken. And we went back and we said, if we're going to do the Spark program, it can't just be road. We have to do water and sewage. So we have added $5 billion to the $40 billion. So it is water, road, and sewage. So all the complaints that I know are still here in Portmore, they will be addressed. Little by little, we are addressing the pain points. Minister Voss told you about the increase in the number of buses. Perennial complaint. We're going to bring in another 100 buses early next year. The bulk of it is going to be in Portmore. More garbage trucks coming, and a whole heap of them going to be here in Portmore. So, a lot of things happening for the people of Portmore. You deserve to be a parish. You deserve your prosperity. You deserve your development. And by God and the support of you, the people, we will fulfill your dreams and aspirations.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he was speaking in Portmore, St. Catherine yesterday, speaking to JLP supporters at the Southeast St. Catherine Constituency Conference. Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, continuing to play excerpts from that conference that was held in St. Catherine yesterday. Now, the Prime Minister and JLP leader spoke to his supporters about disaffection among JLP workers and the supporters. He's saying that this contributed to the party's less than stellar performance during the local government elections in February.
2 months ago, we had an event. And I know many of you left that event with mixed feelings, concerned about the future. And like any political organization, whenever you participate in an election, whether you win, lose, or draw, you have to review. You have to do an exit report. You have to check on how the organization performed. And I commissioned such a review of the Jamaica Labour Party. Some of you would know that your constituency was selected for the review. Some of you inside here, you were interviewed, and your views were recorded and brought to me so that I could understand what my workers, what my supporters, what my activists are thinking. Whilst I cannot say everything here, but one of the things that came out is that the base of the party, the workers of the party, some of them did not feel as appreciated, as recognized, and as rewarded as they should be. They feel that their government is in power, and whilst they are not looking for state resources to be channeled to them, and as leader of the party, I've been very clear that we cannot use state resources, and we will not use state resources in those ways. But nevertheless, there is the expectation that the party itself as an organization must reach out to its base, its co-workers, and show them care, and on top of that, respect. So we got a clear message from you in February, and like any intelligent organization, we have recalibrated. And a few months ago, even up to a few weeks ago, we called a retreat of all our MPs, all our constituency leadership, and we declared to them a course of action that they must take, which involves a reaching out to all our workers, mending fences with all our workers and supporters, no matter if you think you're right, or if the other person wrong, or if there was disrespect, or disregard it, don't matter. What matter is that the Jamaica Labour Party continues to bring good policies and government to the people of the country, and your little petty arguments should not stop that. So we have given a directive to the leadership of the constituencies. Pay attention to your workers. Pay attention to your supporters. Hear what they have to say. Go out and take the cussing about the water and the road. Don't hide from the people. Because as I keep telling
Yeah. So it's been February, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
And we're now mid-October.
Mid-October.
And this is the messaging from the Prime Minister. What say you, Donna?
Yeah, well, I like that they're doing their own introspection. It is something that was indicated just after the local government elections, that the review would be done. They would dissect where they have gone wrong and all of that. Primarily out of that dissecting was that the base is not very well energized. People did not come out in the local polls. That is something that they need to go back to the drawing board and do. Yeah, so.
But Tana, you said it perfectly. You did the count. It's 8 months. Introspection and communicating to one's base should not really take you 8 months. Because one thing I'm certain of is that the People's National Party, they've been keeping conferences probably every week. I was driving in from Portland yesterday and I saw individuals up in the hills, in their, not in Portland, but in St. Mary, in their orange shirts out there on the road, on the hustings, campaigning in this time period. Why? Because they're aware that the Constitution has it, that elections are upon us. And even if it's 1 year for them to campaign to regain state power, they will take that 1 year and they'll do all they can because they know it comes back to the people. I think that review, whatever review process the Jamaica Labour Party and their leadership went through, however long or short it took, it shouldn't take 8 months for this to be the messaging. Better yet, what are they doing for their base to have them motivated? Because it's one thing to say it from a political platform in a German, but it's another thing for people to feel appreciated in any organization, whether it's a company, whether it's a political party. It's one thing for you to say, feel appreciated, get over what was wrong, but it's another thing for people to actually feel it. And politics, I've always said to people, politics is about people. It's not about how you feel, it's not about how good you sound on a political platform, but it's really about the people, because at the end of the day, they could say all they want. If those votes don't come out on election day, whenever election day is, then it would have meant nothing.
Yeah, I see some persons in the YouTube chat agreeing with us as well. Angela Cole saying, Tana, too late. Neron Simpson says they are moving too slow. And Mildred Hamilton is saying some MPs are lazy and don't connect with the people. Then she says, good evaluation by the Prime Minister. But then after you've made the evaluation, what next?
What next? That's what I'm saying. So
you've dissected the issue. You know what the issue is.
Then what? But people are coming for me in the chat and saying, I want the Prime Minister to tell me what they did. No, I'm saying that at the end of the day, there's a level of energy that people should feel on the ground. Politics is about people. We can always say all we want, but when you go up on a political platform to just speak about it, that's one thing. No, they don't need to come and tell us what's happening behind the scenes. I'm not asking for that. Not my business, really. But the point is, the people need to feel it. All I'm saying is they can say all they want, but unless the people feel it, as I'm thinking, though the people in the opposition are feeling it because they did come out in February, obviously something went wrong between 2020 September and February 2024. Now, if that isn't rectified in a meaningful way, which is what I'm saying, then the result would be the same. So all I'm saying is, the Prime Minister can say it. The leader of the Jamaica Labour Party can say it. Can say they've reviewed. We hear it. But The question I'm putting to the leadership is, are the people on the ground, the immediate people, the ones who vote, are they feeling what you are saying? Are they ready to look past what they stayed home for in February 2024? That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, and there is an imagery, there is a view you can see based on observation that there is this hunger that you're getting from the opposition PNP and its supporters, right? Are you seeing the same thing on the side of the GLP? And how much effort will the GLP start to put in from now to ensure that that same level of hunger is being matched on their side by their supporters, by their base, hungry enough to ensure that they come out and match the same type of, or you get the same type of voting potential from GLP supporters as you are seeing now from those on the opposition
and
side.
it's in the polls. You know, you can come for me
Yeah,
in the
it's in the
chat
polls.
all you want, but it's in the polls. Polls are numbers. That's what I do, research and data. And polls are the numbers based on a snapshot of society at particular points in time. And
I'll say as well, Sandre, that one of the tactics or strategies that was used in the local government elections was to have the Prime Minister out, in the last 2 weeks before the local government elections.
Right, day in, day out.
Day in, day out, all across the country, campaigning. And then the rest of them, a lot of them, what were they doing? Yeah, what were they doing to ensure that the same sort of energizing that the Prime Minister was doing, it was being matched by all of the other councillors and members of Parliament and other workers of that party? What were the rest of them doing? Was there a strong enough team effort, or was it that the Prime Minister had everything on his shoulder? And that is the same strategy heading into the general elections, to put the Prime Minister out there, and then everybody else is just hoping that putting the Prime Minister out there works. I don't know, but that's for them to decide.
The PM was studying, and that somebody else said it can't peak too early. But listen, we're not troubling you. We want you to comment on this. We want you to comment in the chat, because the question is still put forward, and we want to hear your comments. You can disagree with me, but those are my comments on it.